Hey guys, it's been the Boss 99 here. So a while back, my interest in emulation came back, so I decided to go find some old games to play. Technically, I could just play them with my keyboard. Personally, I think it's a bit more comfortable to use a proper controller for these games. So I grabbed my Xbox One controller, and it works fine, sure, but it doesn't quite feel right playing GBA and SNES games with an Xbox controller. So it was time to start looking online. I eventually ended my search on this, a recreation of the Super Nintendo controller by Tomee. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It cost me about $16 USD shipping without tax. The reason I decided to pick this one over the other SNES controllers listed was mainly due to the price. Another popular USB controller, the iBuffalo, was $29.99 USD. I've seen good reviews for it, but that's a bit more than I wanted to pay. I mean, it was nearly double the price of the Tomee controller. So, let's see if this was worth a lower price, or if I should have just paid a little extra for a better controller. Let's start with the general presentation of the controller. Well, it certainly looks like a real SNES controller, minus the Nintendo branding, but that's understandable. The plastic feels pretty good and is nice and solid, so you don't really have to worry about it shattering if you accidentally drop it. The core that it's attached to is about 6 feet long, which is pretty close to the real thing. This should be more than enough if you plan on sitting close to your computer, but it might run a little short if you'd rather play on your TV or something. Now let's get to the important part. How does it feel in use? If it isn't comfortable to play with, then the appearance doesn't really matter. The Tomee controller comes with the buttons you would expect. 4 face buttons, start and select buttons, left and right shoulder buttons, as well as an 8-direction D-pad. These face buttons feel very nice and had consistently good input in my experience. The start and select buttons feel nice as well and are made with rubber. The L&R buttons are responsive as well, but the R button feels a bit stiffer than the L button on my controller. Perhaps this is just an issue with my controller, but it was noticeable. Alright, so all the other buttons feel pretty good, but how is the D-pad? For most people, a D-pad can make or break a controller for them. Unfortunately, the Tomee's D-pad leaves a lot to be desired. It's designed the way that the entire D-pad presses down if you press it in the center. I'm not really a fan of this, honestly. It's responsive enough, but missed inputs happen just often enough to be annoying at times. I think you'll probably be fine playing older RPGs like Final Fantasy, Earthbound, Fire Emblem, or Pokemon, but may struggle at times if you prefer platformers or anything that requires precise or quick inputs. All in all, I can't say that I regret my purchase. The Tomee controller works well enough for types of games that I like to play. I played through an entire Pokemon game with this controller before writing this review, and the D-pad didn't really bother me too much, and the rest of the controller was fairly comfortable. At about half the price of the iBuffalo, I think this is a pretty good alternative. Although, since Nintendo themselves just released their own wireless SNES controller for $30, I may have just bitten the bullet and paid a little more for the premium experience if I didn't order this like a day before they announced it on the Direct. Oh well. I think I could still recommend this as a budget alternative. It gets a pass from me. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope this video was helpful to you. And if you liked this video, consider subscribing for more reviews and other informative videos. This has been the Boss 99, signing out for today.